Hey metalheads, welcome to another episode of Metal Academics. Who's the band we're featuring this time?
Iced Earth.
Iced Earth. Pretty cool. I used to listen to them a long time ago, but I kind of forgot what they sounded like. I just remember they had really cool t-shirts.
Oh, their cover art is great. And of course, I think everyone has heard Iced Earth at some point or another because they've been around since 1990. That's when their first album was released. So there's a lot of discography to go through. That's also the big challenge when covering these great and long-lasting bands. How can you pick 3 songs and only 3 songs from a great discography? So this is just a very personal choice of mine. Let us know in the comments what would be your personal choices. I'm sure there will be a variation on this. But the reason why I actually chose it is partly because of one of you, and I want to give a shout out to our follower Rob Starr, who suggested Iced Earth as one potential feature. And that got me thinking like, oh, I know Iced Earth. And how do I know it? Personal story is just like I moved once for the summer in this rented room, a second-hand contract. And the guy that I rented from, Henrik, had his whole living room basically wallpapered with band posters. And most of these posters were artwork from Iced Earth albums, exactly what you were saying, because they were just so very cool. And that kind of is my first contact point with Iced Earth, this kind of featuring these Iced Earth posters featuring monsters and cool letters and all that stuff. And that got me into listening to them, and I listened to them a bit, and then I kind of forgot about them, and then I got back into them. So they've been around, and they've been one of these bands that has the most changes in their personnel. So we talked about Angra before. There's like, oh my God, just reviewing that will take like 40 minutes. I'm not going to do that again. But let me tell you that it's almost impossible to review who was the guitar, the drummer, the bass, and the lead singer and so on at different points in time. Because not only did they change, but some of them came back only for a year, only for an album, only for a song. So yeah, we're not going to do that. One thing we can say, there's one thing that defines Iced Earth, and that's one person, the lead guitar singer in the current setup, John Schaffer, who is the main composer, even though other people in the band also compose music, and the main lyricist, and the kind of powerhouse behind Iced Earth. He's the guy who initiated the band way back in the 80s in Florida, and he's the one constant throughout this long history.
So they're from the US?
They are American, yes, I should say that. And actually, I think we can hear that in the sound. And again, I'm making very sweeping generalizations at this point, but if we were to make this mental exercise, and you can, say if you agree or not, you say if you agree or not, but they're like the difference between the US and the European power metal is like where they get their inspiration from. I think the United States power metal is more thrash oriented, and European power metal is more symphonic or melodic oriented. And that's kind of the bottom line. I don't think it's anything about the instruments or the setup or the lineup or the themes of the songs. I think this is very compatible. But when it comes to the way they sound, the US is more thrash leaning, and the Europeans are more melodic, more synth prog composition focused.
I'm trying to think of a counterexample. So I'm trying to think of a American power metal symphonic band. Can't think of one. Do you guys know any?
I'm sure there's a couple. I think it's not like Manowar, for example, is not very thrash oriented. I wouldn't say.
But they're not,
so they're like
maybe.
They're not really symphonic, but they're definitely not inspiring themselves. At least this is a debate that you guys can also feed into.
Yeah, because we've been talking a lot about like where are the American metal.
Yeah, we
bands?
talked about Visigoth, for example, and saying that they're very good, but nobody listens to them.
I got one coming up though.
Yeah? All right, cool. So Iced Earth, though, is one of the bands that made it out of the US and worldwide, achieved worldwide fame. And we're going to listen to it's too complicated to go through the chronology, but let's say one of the first songs or the songs that belongs to the first period of the band, roughly said, because it has Matt Barlow as the lead singer, and Matt has the most impressive defining sound voice. It's almost impossible not to recognize it's him when you hear his voice. So I think the first Iced Earth period is the Matt Barlow period, and the song that we're going to listen to is called Dracula, which is very suitable for a person like me that has some way back roots in Transylvania, which was one of the reasons why I chose it. And Dracula comes from their 2001 album, The Horror Show, or Horror Show, that is inspired by characters from the horror shows like Frankenstein, and Transylvania is another song, and so on. And I really like the fan video of this particular song. None of the Iced Earth official videos are playable. They're all copyrighted. We cannot play any of them. But I think this fan video is awesome, and it's based on an anime cartoon. And I think it's totally suitable. It's also a lyrics video, so we can follow the story of Horror Show, Iced Earth, with Matt Barlow behind the main microphone.
Cool. Curious to see if I recognize any of these songs, because it's been at least 10 years since I listened to Iced Earth.
Again, there's so many to pick from that maybe your favorites are not included. So let's hear though this one. It's one of my favorites.
Believe in love? Do you believe in destiny? True love may come only once in 1,000 lifetimes. I too have love, it took her from me. I prayed for her soul, I prayed for her peace. When I close my eyes, I see her face, it comforts me. When I close my eyes, memories cut like a knife.
I thought in the beginning for a second you forgot it was a metal channel. Took a while to kick in.
This is as close we will probably ever come to a ballad.
Yeah.
But I think it's a great intro to hear the Matt Barlow voice, which is insane. He quit the band though to become a policeman in the aftermath of 9/11.
Okay.
He said that he needs to make a deeper contribution to the society than being a singer.
Singing about Dracula.
Yeah, and so he became a policeman, and then he came back and did some shows and so on and so forth. But this and the previous album probably are their pinnacle of the Matt Barlow era. This again from 2001. But instead of him, Iced Earth recruited another vocal performer. His name is Tim Owens, known as the Ripper, because he played in Judas Priest before joining Iced Earth. And he has a totally different voice, as you would expect, a more Rob Halford-inspired high-pitch voice.
All right, that's up my alley.
Yeah, and he wasn't around for too long, only 2 albums, but I think one of the songs that he played is one of the best Iced Earth songs, and I think actually it inspired another band we featured on our channel, because the name would give it away. The name of this song is 10,000 Strong.
Unleash the Archers.
Yes, I believe that there is something that these 2 songs have.
Did we get a Unleash the Archer-esque scream?
Oh my God, you should see this. So apropos opening screams, this is a common thread on this channel. Tim the Reaper Owens knows how to scream.
All right.
And there's a long story behind this. It's John Schaffer is a lyricist, and again, he actually has a Kickstarter campaign to release his lyrics and poems and artwork. So he's a multifaceted artist, and I don't want to go into the whole story, but the 10,000 Strong reference is about a long epical battle between human race and the Scythians, or Scythians, I don't know exactly how to pronounce, which were the locals on Earth before the humans came from space.
True story.
For a moment there, I was like, woohoo! It's a great story. True or not, it's a great story, and there's lots of Iced Earth lyrics to that extent. But that's what the 10,000 Strong is there were only 10,000 Scythians left because the humans wiped out the rest of them, but they are the ones planning the big revenge. The 10,000 are gonna get back at the humans. So that's the story in a nutshell. Yeah, I butchered a lot of the details. Sorry about that, but we only have like 3 minutes. So we're gonna see, because I thought we cannot just see animations and so on of them, we should see the band.
So cool in the last video, I don't know if you guys saw it, there was the flying manta rays at some point. What series was that? I want to check those.
I forgot.
I'm sure someone out there knows.
The references, but again, it's an anime song about the son of Dracula, and not song, a film. Oh. This is going to be not an anime and not a cartoon of any sorts, but a live recording from 2007 at the Wacken Open Air Music Festivals. And one of the things that obviously we need to watch for is Tim live reproducing these screams. So it's not studio effects. This is the real deal.
All right.
Let's listen. 10,000 Strong. From the album, I forgot to say, Framing Armageddon, Something Wicked, which is part of a trilogy called Something Wicked.
Let's see what happens to the Scythians.
Let me hear you! How we doing? All right? How we doing? All right?
Yeah!
10,000 Strong.
You like heavy metal?
Yeah!
We'll give you something we just put out, the new single, simply called 10,000 Strong.
And brace.
never relent. We lay awake, these human minds are clouded. When initiation of the master plan was never laid through my mom. Stories will pass, face will win. We are the pain of man. Don't wait, the days are clouding. Earth mother sharing in our pain. Erase the human memory. They know not from where they came. And though our hearts are broken, we have to wipe the tears away. In vain they did not suffer. 10,000 strong will seize the day. Long wait, the days are cloudy. Earth mother sharing in our pain. Erase the human memory. They know not from where they came. And though our hearts are broken, we have to wipe the tears away. In vain they did not suffer. 10,000 strong will seize the day. Long wait, the days are cloudy.
Yeah, definitely like that better than the first one, even though it was a live version.
Yeah, but I say screams the same. It's like live or recorded, amazing voice, but very different. Right. Like you could tell that there's a total tonality change.
Yeah, and anyone who's been to a live show with a real screaming, you know, it's not captured in the video.
It's not captured. This is not an official video necessarily. I think it's a combination of various sounds, but it's not as good as the studio. At the same time, it's raw and proves that they know their thing for real. Yeah. So I actually like that.
Well, that was kind of like cool. I couldn't get over what they were wearing. The Mark, you say his name was?
Who's
the lead singer?
The screaming guy?
Yeah.
Tim.
Oh yeah, the Ripper. Mm-hmm. Just in jeans and a leather jacket.
Yeah. And the guy with the gray long hair, that's John Shepard.
And here's the other thing, he had the duster.
Yeah.
I want to get one of those.
Oh, he's very cool. And again, like he has so many projects going on together with the main singer of Blind Guardian, Hansi Kripsch. I cannot pronounce properly his name. Sorry about butchering that. But they have another band that is very famous called Demons and Wizards. They're also putting up some new content probably soon. And again, so he's a poet and everything, and he covers so many grounds. He's a powerhouse, as I said, John. Really a reference for American metal music, I think. But anyway, so that was Tim. And that was like the second Ice Earth period.
The second Ice Age.
Exactly. But then Tim left and Matt came for a little while. That wasn't a good idea. So in the end, they invited, I think as of 2012, the current lead singer, a Canadian whose name is Stu Block, who many say that combines Matt and Tim in one voice. So it's like the best of both worlds. A stew. And I really like him actually very much. And I really like this latest period as just as much as before. But again, the quality of the albums is uneven. And some albums are really absolutely fantastic. Some albums are one or two songs are remarkable. I think the latest from 2017, which is going to be the one from which the last song is going to come, is actually overall very good, but very diverse. I was reading an interview with John, and he was saying, I inspire myself from anything from American history, and he's a huge fan of American history. He has a trilogy about the Gettysburg Battle, very, very long, like 30 minutes or something like that. People think that's a Capodopera, but I'm not sure. Anyway, it's very long for sure. He dedicated also some songs to the 9/11 moment and the patriotic album. So anyway, so there's something of that nature in the latest album, but there's also a pirate-inspired song, Viking-inspired songs, and Native American-inspired songs. So yeah, there's a mixture. However, the song we will listen to is the shortest song on the album, and it has some biblical connotation, Old Testament, because it refers to the seven-headed whore.
Yeah. Hydra harlot.
And again, the official lyric video that comes with the song from Iced Earth is not available because of copyright. However, I did find, I think, a very funny fan video that uses footage or a film from the silent film era.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That should be interesting.
It's very funny. It's very unusual. I'm not sure everybody would like it. I thought it was very, very appropriate. Well, we'll see it and then we can comment afterwards. So it's a 3-minute song. And very, I think, American metal oriented. And you can hear Stu's voice.
that's trippy.
Doom. Death is upon the city. Shong.
That was cool. I want to see that movie.
Yeah?
With the flying manta ray anime too.
So
But,
those are fan videos,
that was
really cool. So again, this is from Incorruptible, the 12th studio album. You can imagine what a discography from Iced Earth. And again, I wanted just to point out that I really love the guitar, and that's new. That's due to the new guitarist, the 25-year-old at the time of recording, Jake Dreyer. I think he really probably is the best lead guitar that the band has had, even though they have such a long history. I really thought it was perfect, on point. And Stu's voice, like high and low.
Yeah, yeah.
What did you think?
I thought I think the second song is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
But I definitely liked the third one, and I'm trying to think. You mentioned there's a lot of different albums, but I think what you said before about how some albums have one or two good hits,
Yeah.
and I think that's kind of what my thing with Iced Earth was, is that I liked some songs, but if I just had it on shuffle or something, there was too many misses. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Definitely.
It's different sound, definitely. You can hear a different sound. It's a little bit raw, and I love this kind of drum. It's like energy, power, total thrash oriented. They just released now at the beginning of July some re-released some of their old songs, but this time on limited edition vinyls. So something from their first album, something from their second album, so something from Iced Earth from 1990, and then from Burnt
For all you cool
Offerings.
cats with the record players.
Yeah, they're very cool. Their art.
You have one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Ta-da!
I'm all stream.
I don't use it that often, but it's nice to have the option, especially when you see some of these beautiful, like they're art pieces. You almost don't want to play them because they are decorated, they're painted. This has an unusual form. It's not just round, it has like an unusual shape. So it's very cool. Napalm Records has them. I think they're almost sold out. Probably by the time you guys get to listen to this and see this episode, probably they're all gone. But they're still there, and they're on the scene. They're doing stuff. One of the songs I wanted to play was very much Corona, COVID pandemic. It's called "The Plagues of Babylon" from
God.
It would be like so much on point, but I in the end went with a seven-headed whore.
Yeah, I like that one.
It was very good. Anyways, there's so many other alternatives. One thing I'll comment about the ballad. They have they're probably very known for their ballads. It's one of these metal bands that produces very famous ballads. Probably Melancholy is one song that all of you guys can refer to. There's also Anthem. There's also all these historical, slower paced epics. So very diverse content. This is my choice based on what was available as a video, but also on what I enjoy from the sound, trying to cover the three different lead singers and the three different phases, if you want, at the same time.
Yeah, it was cool, and cool videos.
I also really thought that was like probably even better than the lyrics videos that the band themselves had. Anyway, let us know in the comments what you think of this. I'm sure there's some Iced Earth fans out there. Let us know if you've actually seen them live. If you've seen them play with Matt, if you've seen them play with Tim, if you see them play with Stu, they actually re-recorded some of the songs. Like Matt took over by Tim and Matt. Is like so confusing. Do you have any favorites? Do you have any particular preferences? Also, take it in the comments. I'm curious to find out where do you sit on this. I like all of them equally. They're different, but I enjoy them.
Cool. Well, yeah, I didn't recognize any of those songs, but I don't know if I would have. I don't know if I listened to them before, but I'll go back and check them out for sure.
Well,
very cool.
Thanks again for watching, and in the meantime,
may your sword stay sharp
and your quest end in glory.